Hey sportsman, John Bergsman here with another edition of the Hot Bites Fishing Report. And this is an exciting day because I got some big news for all of you about our charter captains here in the state of Michigan. But this report, action-packed, Lake Erie, Monroe walleye, Mackinaw City trout. I was just up there a couple of days ago. Hubbard Lake walleye, guys. If you're into Hubbard Lake and you're into walleye, stay tuned for this report. Drummond Island perch is firing on all cylinders, and we're going to end up right here at Pilgrims Village in Cadillac with beautiful Lake Mitchell right behind me, talking to you about early season walleye and crappie. Stay tuned. So hey, our first report of the day, we're out of Monroe, Michigan, Western Basin, Lake Erie. It is absolutely as hot as I have ever seen it in my life, and that is saying something because I've been on some seriously hot Lake Erie bites. So what's going on? Captain Nick Dude, our reporter from Real Live Action Charter, tells us that the fish are hitting bandits, reapers, banana shads, any number of custom colored bright contrast baits in that bigger lip, and you're catching them by letting out 25 to 40 and up to 50 foot of leads behind your little yellow offshore boards. Now, you're trolling 1.7 or so. The depth has been really all over the place, and a lot of it is because of the sheer number of fish that are in that shallow water system at the mouth of the Detroit River that leads into Breast Bay and down a little further to Bowles Harbor in front of Sterling State Park. Now, why are the fish there? Obviously, with boats being off the water for a big chunk of April, there was a lot of fish that didn't get caught in the Detroit River. And now those fish have flooded out by the hundreds of thousands and even millions into this shallow water of Western Basin. So again, 25 to 50 back, 1.7, 1.8, a little bit depends on the weather and how nice the day is. That's going to be your speed. Brightly custom colored bandits, you can get them right there at Domka Outdoors, right there off La Pleasance Road in Monroe. But Monroe, Michigan, right now, hot, hot, hot. If you want a quick limit of fish, head down to Monroe. Troll bandits, banana shads, reapers, you name it, all of those baits work. Thanks also to Lee Gould for sending us a lot of good information this week. I know he saw we got some pictures up on our website of Lee. He had some really nice catches. Captain Nick had some really nice catches. Get out there, get on the water, call your local charter captain because we're going to be the first to tell you chartering opens up May 7 here in the state of Michigan. That's Thursday, May 7. Now there's going to be some rules, of course, social distancing, some masks, some gloves, and all of the other stuff that they all want us to do right now. But you can book that charter for this coming weekend, so get out there, have a great time here in Michigan and over on Lake Erie out of Monroe.
All right, Jeff Miller with Traxstech here today, just going over our brand new, for 2020, we did this Fishhawk adjustable lift and turn mount. So our Fishhawk mounts on top of our plate, and this fits the X4 and the X2. Holes are already drilled and tapped in there for it. Our stainless steel screws are coming with it. So this is designed to put the mount right on the back side so that this your unit can just clip right on, screwed right down nice and solid, locks into place. Our base plate is designed to slide into our track. A lot more guys are putting their Fishhawks right in the back of their boat or versatile anywhere they want them on the track as long as they've got their cords to go with it. So our base will allow you to either screw it right down and hard mount it, or like I said, slide it in the track. And then we have our lift and turn feature on here. So I can lift and turn this wherever I want to see it on the boat so that the sun's not glaring at it. Just one more neat, unique little product that we got that we can rotate this around and help us out with giving a Fishhawk head unit a really good solid mounting location.
So hey, our next report is a really fun one for me because it's my personal report. I was just up with Captain Steve Hubert doing a little fun fishing, just a couple of really good friends, and Chase the camera guy jumped in with Steve on his big boat up at Mackinaw City this past Saturday, and we had an awesome time. We whacked a huge bunch of really nice sized lake trout, and it was so easy. You know, the port of Mackinaw City, you might not think of it as a fishing port, but guys, it really is. It's the northernmost reaches of Lake Huron, which still, in my opinion, is the greatest lake trout fishery anywhere in the Great Lakes. It is easy pickings, And the fish are set up right now in the month of May, right offshore Mackinaw City over to Bob Lowe or Boys Blank Island, and there's a long trough that runs between the island and the mainland. That long trough is filled at this time of year with lake trout. They're easy to catch. We found those fish basically 35 to 45 feet of water. Now early they're going to be shallow on structure, so it's really easy to find them, and once you find them they're not hard to catch. We had a big spread of Dreamweavers out. We had them on 75, 125, and 150 copper line with Dreamweaver. Now they're high vis, either UVs or brightly colored mixed veggies, things like that, of the Super Slim, Dreamweaver Super Slims. We were trolling 2.5 at the ball. Now you might fight with a little bit of current in there, so if you have a fish hawk, which is that ball speed depth trolling speed monitor and temp monitor, go ahead and use that, because we found when we went south, we were actually going into the current. When we came back north, we had to speed up our speed over ground to get the right action. But once we figured that out, it was fast, it was furious, and as you've been able to see while I'm talking with some of the video chases put up, these were nice sized lake trout. So hey, get up there. Mackinaw City, the whole month of May is going to be on fire with these lake trout, right from the Straits all the way down to the Port of Sheboygan.
You know, if you're an angler, you need space for all your stuff. I'm Captain Lance Valentine. Let me show you how the Polarcraft Kodiak gives you enough room to put everything you need for a great day of fishing. A huge rod locker to hold a bunch of rods with battery storage underneath for your front trolling motor. 2 sides of wing storage to put all your tackle boxes and all the stuff you need for fishing. And an in-floor spot to put wet storage. Anchors, ropes, drift socks, and everything you have to have a good day on the water. Hey, visit your local Polarcraft dealer and check out the Kodiak and all the really cool features. You're going to love what you see.
So hey, our next report coming to you from up in the Alpena region. Now this is a really fun report every year about this time, from walleye opener until later in May. You get a really good night bite of trolling walleyes there on Hubbard Lake. Now, quick basics for how to catch these fish if you're just going to start doing this. It's basically a 9 o'clock to 2 a.m. bite, or 3 a.m. That 6-hour window is when those fish bite, and they might bite for pretty good for the whole time, or real spottily and then go on fire. You just have no idea. You just got to be out and set up right there at dusk and fish until you get your limit or you're sick of it. But how are they doing it? Well, they're fishing the 10 to 20 foot range on big structure points. Now, if you know anything about Hubbard, it's got lots of big structure points. Whether you're on Hardwood Point or Churchill Point, everywhere around the lake has got probably 3 or 4 major points that you can fish this way. Now, you're going to set up and you're going to troll right where the roll drops and down the slide to off to the deeper water. Those fish are suspended coming in out of deeper water, and they're coming up those main structure points at night to feed. You're running number 5 to number 7 sized shad baits, like a Shad Rap or a Rip or a Lucky Shad by Strike King, something in that small 2.5 inch range. They're eating, smaller baits that were left over from last year. Now you're going to troll those so that you're just keeping off the bottom. So maybe run them out so they're going to be down 7 or 8 feet over 10. And then you're just kind of bumping into that 10 and sliding out to 15 and basically doing that. You have no idea. Sometimes the fish hit when you're right up on that structure. Sometimes they hit and you intercept them when they're coming into the structure. You just don't know how it works, but every night is a little different. You're going to be trolling about 1.5, 1.6, not too fast. You are night fishing. Now, you also will want to put some light sticks on your boards in case you encounter other fishermen out there. You don't want to smash boards into each other and things like that, because there will be some guys out there night trolling. But right now, for the next few weeks, Hubbard Lake, Alpena County, nighttime walleyes with small number 5 to 7 shad type baits. Are you in the market for a new trailer? For all your trailer needs, big or small, visit Beck's Trailer Superstore on Highway 127 north of St. John's. So we've got a really good, reliable report that the Drummond Island perch fishery is already going. Now that's really good news because the ice just went out a couple of weeks ago up there in the Drummond Island area. And already I've got two separate reports, one from John at Customize, who is the guide service up there, John Goebel, who sent us a really nice picture that he's already catching fish. Of course, Justin Bupp, our guide is another guide up in that same region. I think Justin's down on the Detroit River right now, but he'll be up there later in the season. So if you want to get out, give John a call. But also, we got a really good, reliable local report of a guy who took his kids out, and you'll see those on the pictures you see flashing in front of you. Really nice limit of perch. So both John and my buddy Mike caught really good limits of perch, and they had, you know, just simple fishing. So what is the bite? It's 4 to 5 feet of water. It's in the shallower bays that are right around the Drummond Island. Mike Stewart fished in Maxton Bay as an example, and that's probably a good starting point, but don't get too locked in to just one spot. There's perch coming in all over around Drummond Island right now. 4 to 5 feet, you're going to have really light weed growth because, like I say, the ice just went out, so you're not going to have a lot of weed growth. So you're really just drifting along super slow or slow pulling yourself on a bow mount. And one of the best ways to find these fish if you're in the looking mode is to actually fish a slip bobber about 3 feet down over 4 or 5 feet of water. So that way you can kind of search cast. You can go 100 feet, you can make a few fan casts with bobbers around the boat. If you get no activity, you can go ahead and either drift or pull yourself another few hundred yards, and you're just searching for these fish. You can also search hanging your rods over the side of the boat, either on a slow pull with your electric or on a drift by hanging 2-hook perch rigs, perch pounders over the side of the boat hooked up with minnows, and under a slow drift, when you encounter a fish, then you can hit your spot lock on your Garmin and you can sit right there and cast around the boat, catch what you can catch out of an area, but you really have to be willing to move until you find those fish. When you find those fish, boom, it's going to be lights out, as you can see by the pictures. Really good, really high quality perch right now in the Drummond Island region. So if you're looking for bait and tackle, you get to Drummond Island, you get off the boat, you go across on the ferry. Rick from Johnson Sport Shop has got all the bait and tackle you need, perch pounders, regular plain hooks, bobbers, all the bait you need. He'll take care of you right there on the island. No need to bring all that stuff with you. So again, perch, Drummond Island, early. This will last the whole month of May until walleye starts really kicking in. So you got a good several weeks here of some awesome perch fishing there in the Drummond Island over in the eastern upper peninsula of Michigan. Hey, are you in the market for a small outdoor shed, carport, or small storage building? Visit my friends up at Midwest Steel Carports. They'll travel anywhere in the lower peninsula to install your shed or carport for you. Visit them online at midweststeelcarports.com. So hey, like I said earlier, we're standing here right by cabin 15 here at Pilgrims Village, and one of the cool things that Steve and Chris have going here at Pilgrims Village is that they've got, of course, all these cabins right on the shores of Lake Mitchell behind you, and so they've got a real corner on the market when it comes to information that comes into the bait store from all the fishermen around the local area, and as well as the fact that, of course, cabins and accommodations are essential right now, so you can go ahead and get up here and experience all the great crappie and walleye fishing that's going on, and that's what today's report is about. The walleye and crappie fishing are lights out on Lakes Cadillac and Mitchell right now. We've got super good reports of the crappies being caught both offshore at night and also in boats in 3 to 6 feet of water. Now the weeds really haven't grown up too much yet, so you got to kind of hunt around, kind of similar to perch fishing, where you're going to kind of, you know, just fan cast and work down shorelines and in coves and things like that, and over known weed beds from last year. That's where these fish are going to show up first. But the ones they're catching, Chris has told me he's seen 16-inch crappie already this year with lots of fish in that 12 to 14-inch range. So guys are catching real dandies. Now, if you're into walleye fishing, this is actually the time of year for these lakes. There's been a real aggressive stocking program, and kudos to the DNR for really paying attention to Cadillac and Mitchell over the last few years. They've got a lot of fish they put into the system, and it is starting to pay dividends. The walleye fishing has picked up substantially according to Chris and Steve over the last 3 years. This early first week of the season has been very good. Guys going out and trolling stick baits, either in tight 5 feet of water or so at night with shallow stick baits. We're talking number 11 and number 13 Rapalas. You know, a real no dive bait that's only going to go down 2 or 3 feet, letting them out, long lining them out 50 to 80 feet behind your boards, and just shallow water trolling for those walleyes that are still hanging real tight in the shallow water. If you're daytime trolling, maybe just slide out to 5 to 8 feet of water, you know, and lengthen out your lead just a little more. Try to get your bait down 4 or 5 feet. But whatever, get out here and experience some of this awesome fishing here on Lakes Mitchell and Cadillac, here in the Cadillac region. And call Steve and Chris on the phone at Pilgrims Village. We've got cabins here that are available to rent. I do see a lot of trucks right here, so it looks like the word is out. Guys are getting their cabins and coming here for a couple of 2-3 days. If you're off work right now because of COVID, you've got some extra time maybe you wouldn't normally have, this is the place to come for guaranteed fish. Hey, thanks for coming here and supporting Pilgrims Village for the last 4 decades of serving the Cadillac region. Hey, thanks for joining us today. 5 great reports. Fishing is snapping. It's firing all over the place. Chase and I will be on the water this week somewhere. Haven't decided where yet. We'll be back with 5 new reports next week that are sure to satisfy the need to go fishing with all of you. We hope everybody stays safe. We hope you do get out on the water, and remember, those local guides could use your business right now. They've been off the water for the last 4 weeks. We've got the green light to go fishing, so call up a local guide, get out on the water, give them a little bit of that stimulus money, and keep our economy here in Michigan flowing. And we'll see you again next week on the Hot Bites Fishing Report.